What's going on, beautiful people? It's your boy, C-Dub, aka Whit, and I present unto you the CCC DR with commentary. This is my second donut ride of 2019, and I actually went into this donut ride with a few goals, as you probably have saw in the recent video, the vlogger style video of the CCC DR. So right now we're kind of in the neutral area. And once we get to this first stoplight, the hammer gets dropped and this ride, this A group ride, gets it in. Hey guys, thank you for clicking the vid. I ask that you would please leave a comment down below. I'll ask that you would subscribe. And if you don't have a YouTube account, I ask that you would pause the video right here. And I ask that you would set that account up, come back, and I ask that you would subscribe to the Whit Roadrunner family. So right now we're still pushing on, and the three goals for this ride was to burn a match, and that's pretty much like trying to jump on after I just got through pulling or anything of that nature. The second one was to pull a little longer than what I typically would do, meaning I would normally, go up to the front, pop the chicken wing, and then start the recovery period of falling back. And then my third one was to go give a serious effort and go for the sprint. And before this ride, OJ, as we know him, he actually asked, he was like, hey, you want me to lead you out? And I was like, well, let's just see how I'm feeling, and we'll go from there. So I pray that this commentary will do this ride some justice on today. So right now, I'm sitting on Perry's wheel, and we're just getting started. So right now, we're currently on the Silver Strand, and you see some guys coming up. There's OJ right there coming up with the Black Panther jersey on, and you see me sitting behind Perry wearing the Stormtrooper, the new Stormtrooper jacket currently. So right now, I'm just sitting in riding the line, and I also have Rick in my rear view camera. He's back there on his new LA Sprint, the black and red version. And so right now we're passing a couple of guys on the right-hand side, and we're moving our way up. So you see now my heart rate is at 153, which is pretty good. We're going about 22 miles an hour, and I'm putting out just a little bit over 400 watts right now. So we're moving up. There's Misael and Chris falling back. Again, Rick is still sitting on my wheel, and I'm just trying to stay on Perry's wheel right now. And the hammer hasn't dropped just yet, but we're getting warmed up, and all of our joints are getting some extra blood flow to help this process. So blood is flowing, and we're feeling good, and we're getting in out here. And so right now, just moving up, and again, we got some people falling back, and we're coming up on some cones and some construction things in the road. So we're going to make sure we avoid those things to be safe for everybody. So right now I'm on, not sure whose wheel I'm on, but I'm on a wheel, and I know that they were moving up front. I saw Perry pushed up, and so I believe this gentleman right here, he jumped on Perry's wheel. But there you got Larry Tonzo to the right with the PRT bibs on and his specialized windbreaker, riding his tarmac. You got Dave there with his neon orange POC helmet with the older version PRT Stormtrooper jersey. We got a guy to the far right. There was a copper sitting over there in that parking section. And again, Rick is still sitting on my wheel. So right now, everybody is really hunkering in. The miles per hour is 24. Heart rate is still good. It's at 154 beats per minute. And I got a good low wattage going on right now. So really sitting in and really protected from a lot of the wind that's ahead of us. So OJ is up there up front. The gentleman that jumped in, that may be, I'm not sure if it's Brian or Ben that jumped in here, but you see me coming up now. So now I have the gentleman to my right, and I'm sitting on Dave's wheel. Yet a good, smart, strong, very knowledgeable rider, and we're pushing up. So now you see the hammer kind of drop right there, got a little gap, 27 miles an hour, 28. So we've gone up 4 miles per hour. I mean, at the drop of a dime. So now I'm on OJ's wheel, and the MPH has gone up. It's at 28 miles an hour. Literally 5 seconds ago, it was 24, and we were cruising. My heart rate's up to 164, and there's more construction stuff in the roadway. So we're making our way around that stuff just to be safe, and we're progressing north on the Silver Strand in Coronado, California. So you see here now we're starting the rotation. So Perry just got through pulling. Dave just got through pulling now. OJ is coming up to the front to take his turn at pulling, and you see kind of this rotation. So these are not any long pulls. It's like we come up to the front, we do our section, we pull off, and we keep this rotation going. And that's what helps us to move faster, as well as to get our little work in. So now you see Rick going up, and he's pulling up, and he has Chris on his wheel. You got Micio right there, and then you got LT. And so Rick kind of hit it real hard, surged it a little bit. You see how there's kind of a really big gap from him to me. And then some people are actually jumping off onto his wheel. So you got Dave coming through right there. And because I wait for the last guy, I jump on his wheel. So now we're continually pushing up, and now we're going 28, 29 miles an hour. Revolutions per minute are anywhere from 95 to 100. And I'm trying to really keep my legs spinning. That is something that I am really mindful of, and I have been highly advised to do, to keep your legs spinning. So those of you may be listening today that are riders, I encourage you to do the same. Regardless of what the situation may be, keep your legs spinning. If you're going down a hill, try to keep them spinning. If you're going up a hill, of course, you got to keep them spinning. But just try to keep those legs spinning, keep that blood flowing. Because we think that us stopping pedaling, that is giving our legs more of a rest, but actually we're encouraging the lactic acid to settle in and build up, therefore making it harder for us to push our way. So right now I believe Larry Tonzo is probably up front, since the MPHs was around 30, and he was second wheel. So there was Perry, and you see LT sitting on Perry's wheel, and you got OJ, he jumped up front like 2 wheels back, and so I just keep it moving with him. He rotates over. I come up and take my pull, and we get the process going again. And you see people kind of back there, a little bit of gaps happening behind me. You got OJ in the rear camera now, and you got Rick coming up again. So Rick is like, he's feeling good, because he really just, the guy didn't even pull over yet, and Rick kind of hit it. So I see what Rick is doing here. He's like taking his pulls and getting out of the way. So there you got Micio, and Micio's a good wheel to sit on, because he kind of cruises up to the front, which gives you a little bit more time to recover before you have to do your pull. But we see here now there's some breaks. So Rick did that gangster pull, and then so it's a lot of discombobulation right here, a lot of gaps happening. And so now I got to come over and I got to jump on Chris's wheel. And you see there's a gap behind me, so they're back there, they're falling off, and then I'm chasing. So I'm out the saddle. I just hit a little bit over 450 watts to jump on Chris's wheel. And of course LT was up pulling, which was very, very dangerous, because that guy can literally pull away from these groups. He easily can go like 33 miles an hour by himself solo, like it's nothing. So Chris just pulls, and I pull through to take my turn. Heart rate is up to 180, and we're only going 25 miles an hour. Here comes LT again, which is very, very dangerous, because I'm up front, I'm hurting. And this guy is a breakaway specialist. So there he goes. He's breaking away. So I give a dig. So that was one of my matches that I calculated to be a match. And, that put me back at 181. And that was just a little bit over, I think, 500 watts just to try to jump on his wheel. So now I have Chris on my wheel, and we're making our way up the road. So LT's going to, pop that chicken wing here in a second. He's letting me know something's in the road, but he's going to pop that chicken wing here in a second, and then I'm going to have to pull. So we're going 27 miles an hour. My heart rate is up. I'm at 184, and I'm going just over 300 watts. And so there you go. He pulls over. Now I'm up front with a 185 beats per minute heart rate, going 26 miles an hour, over 90 RPMs. My watts are up. Chris pulls through. Dave's about to pull through, and we're moving. So OJ catches up, and so now there's a group of 5 of us, and we're working. So you see I'm off the back just a little bit here, and I'm hurting. So I give a little dig over 500 watts just to kind of jump back on to this process, and I wasn't going to rotate up and get behind LT. I was going to sit on Chris's wheel, hoping that I could get some more recovery. And I've learned here recently that a good recovery heart rate for me is about 1 in the 160. So right now we see Dave and Chris has fallen off. OJ and LT are up the road. I give another little dig, pushing almost 1,000 watts to try to chase this down. Did not have it. I sit down very quickly. Now you see I'm back at 160, going at 200 watts, 400 watts. Chris comes around me. He says, hey, come on, let's go. So I try to jump on his wheel, and I'm riding his wheel for a little bit. I'm cruising. I'm riding. My heart rate's at 185, so I'm hurting right now. I'm hurting, and he's hammering. He's pushing. And what happens is, as he's getting it in, my heart rate's at 187, 186, and I'm hurting. And I'm falling. I'm losing his wheel. I can't hold on to his wheel. And so he leaves me. So now you see, look at my rear camera. There's no Dave there. So I'm out here now by myself. And my heart rate's still at 185. Going 23 miles an hour. I'm pushing out just over 125 watts, and I'm out here on the strand solo. So I'm in between groups. I'm chasing down OJ, chasing down Chris, LT. I don't even expect to catch LT because he's probably just pulling away from everybody. And I'm just out here. My heart rate's at 181. I'm only going 21 miles per hour. And I'm like, oh my God. So I'm not even going to be able to do my other two goals. I will only be able to use a match jumping home with LT. And now I'm out here solo. So it's like, okay, just keep pushing. Just keep pedaling. Just keep pushing. Just keep pushing. So I keep doing that. I'm pushing out just over 270 watts right now. Heart rate's at 179, 180. And I'm just moseying on up the strand. And I'm like, you know, do-do, 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 do-do. You know, I'm just cruising now. It's like, okay, just keep pushing at 250 some odd watts. And I see OJ up there. So I'm like, okay, maybe I can catch OJ. So because OJ must have popped off. So I see OJ up the road. And I'm like, all right, that's my mark. So I'm like, if I can just catch OJ, I'll be all right. And if you look at the top right and left of the screen, you see my hands. And that's kind of a real comfortable position for me. I put my hands on the hoods and I kind of drop my elbows on top of my top tube of my handlebars. And I just kind of ride down in that aero position. And I'm like, all right, if I can just catch OJ, I'm going to be all right, you know. And so watching a lot of film, there's a tactic that I learned, not a negative one, but a positive one, to let a person know that you're willing to work with them. And that tactic is this, is that when you're bridging over, if you go up and take the lead, they know that you're committed. They know that you're going to do some work versus coming up and sitting on their wheel. Because if I come up and sit on OJ's wheel, he doesn't know if I'm going to be willing to do any work and work with him, therefore causing him to possibly sit up. So what I do right now is I catch OJ and I pass him. I go over the top of him, and this lets him know, as you see there, he's in the rear camera. Now he knows that Whit's willing to work. So I'm pushing 270 watts. My heart rate's down a little bit. I'm at 174. I'm going a little bit faster, 21 miles per hour. But now he knows that I'm committed to work. And so therefore, that simple gesture of just overtaking him and getting in front, allowing him to jump on my wheel, lets him know that I'm willing to work, and now we can work together. In the meantime, he's telling me, hey, let's just jump back in the group. So slow down, 22 miles an hour, and the group catches us. You see Dave is there, you see Misael is there, and you see a few other guys, you see Rick is there. So now this is a great opportunity for us to tuck back in and recover and possibly even catch Chris or even LT. If we work together, hey, you got 6 people, 6 is stronger or stronger than 1. So if we all work together, take our turns pulling, we can possibly catch Chris and maybe even catch LT. If the lights do not hate on us, if the stoplights don't turn red while we're out here grinding it out, we may be able to catch them. So right now, OJ just got through pulling, and so now I'm going up for my pull, and I'm back with the group, which actually allows me to recover, and it also affords me the opportunity to do one of my goals, which is pull a little longer. And let's see if that happens. So right now we have, that's Perry, I believe. Perry pulled through, and Misael is making his way up to the front. And I believe this is Brian or Ben here with the Cannondale. And he's making his way up, and there's Rick right there. He also is wearing the Stormtrooper jacket, and there's Dave. So I come over as OJ's coming up to keep the rotation going really smoothly. I come up, and now we're going up to the front. Everybody's taking their pull, and they're pulling over to the right. And that's just, again, that's just the cycling, group cycling etiquette working a pace line. So now OJ's up there, and OJ's going to pull over in front of Dave. And so I'm coming up, I'm kind of taking my time coming on up, but you see I'm pushing over 300 watts. My heart rate's at still 176, 26 miles an hour. And what I do here is I go for my goal number 2 to pull longer. And you see I stayed to the left. I did not move to the right. I stayed to the left. I have Perry on my wheel, and I'm pulling. I'm pulling longer than what I would normally pull because I'm giving myself goals now for these rides, whether it's Flow Host, Fiesta Island, Donut Ride, or even races. I'm giving myself goals. So you see, I'm still pulling 28 miles per hour, 182 beats per minute. I'm just now dropping underneath 400 watts. But while I was pulling, I was anywhere between 350 to 400 watts, and they were on my wheel. So I went up, I popped the chicken wing, pulled over, and let the guys come through. I jumped back in, I came out the side of sprint up over a little bit over 500 watts just to jump back on Perry's wheel so that I wouldn't get dropped. And then I believe we have Ben back there coming up on the rear camera. So now I'm tucked in on Perry's wheel. Perry kind of hits it a little bit, and I'm just going to pull up to OJ's wheel. And in this process, I believe we were very, very close to catching Chris. So what happened from my memory is that OJ popped Chris. LT popped Chris. So Chris and LT were riding together, and then LT dropped a hammer, and Chris wasn't able to hold on. And so we were like, all right. So I'm like, all right, we're going to catch Chris. We're going to catch him. So right now, you see, we still haven't gotten any red lights. We're right here close to the Naval Amphibious Base Coronado. On our left and right of us, and there's a few lights in this area, and we're like, we're gonna catch Chris. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling excited about it. My heart rate's still at 180, so it's still up a little bit, but I'm doing decent, just over 250 watts, and we're rotating through in this pace line, and I'm like, we may catch Chris. And this video is 22 minutes and 49 seconds long, so we're over halfway done. We're currently about 17 minutes in, and so guess what? We get caught by a red light. And so what that did was that sold the deal. We were not going to catch Chris at this point. So we got this red light. We're stuck here. We're recovering. You see the heart rate is at 168. So it's actually, I'm recovering very quickly, and it's dropping, and which is good. And only thing bad about that was that we were losing connectivity to Chris. So now we got a green light. Chris is gone. LT's gone. So any effort here, it's pretty much going for third, So now everybody reshuffles and gets resituated, and so this is getting us ready for the Crown City Cyclist Donut Ride Sprint. So we're going to here very shortly. We're going to pull off of the Silver Strand onto Orange Avenue, and that is where the CCC DR Sprint is located. Right next to the Coronado Municipal Golf Course, as you'll see here very, very soon. So right now we're progressing up. We have roughly 2 more stoplights to go through, and then we will be on our way. So right now I'm just sitting on Rick's wheel, and there's Misael coming back with the red jacket and the red Trek Madone. And you see them hammering it just a little bit. The pace is up to 24 miles an hour. And my heart rate is, I'm at a good heart rate right now. I'm in the 160. So I'm at 163, 164, 165. Everything is good. There's OJ. And I'm feeling good because, again, this right here, where my heart rate is right now, 162, I feel that is a good recovery heart rate for myself. And that was something that I had to learn as well. And I'm happy that I learned it, because now when I look down at my Garmin, I can know by just those numbers if I've recovered or not. So if I'm riding, I'm at 180, I know I'm almost tapped out. But if I look down and I see that their heart rate is back in the 160, the low 160s, that lets me know that all is well, and I live to try again, if you know what I mean. Whether it's having another match, whether it's trying to pull a longer again, trying to break away, whatever it may be that I may make a goal, having this low heart rate right here lets me know that I have the possibility to try and try again. So I encourage you guys to identify those numbers. So when you go out on your group rides, you can try some breakaways and try to animate your races or your group rides a little bit more, so that you can continue to progress and enjoy your journey. So right now we've just pulled off of Silver Strand onto Orange Avenue. And the only thing I don't like about Orange Avenue, as some of you all may know from the faithful that have watched several of these commentary videos, are the speed bumps, because they really take you out of your chi. You know, you be in the zone and you hit these speed bumps and it just jack up everything. It takes you out the sweet spot of your saddle and it messes up your cadence. It's just not even nice, you know. So we're going, and now you see everybody starting to, you know, so people start anticipating not wanting to pull or even trying to hammer. So you see now we're going 26 miles an hour because they're trying to break away, see if they can drop off any excess baggage, I like to call it. But everybody hunkers in because everybody's probably recovered now because of that stoplight. And so I'm sitting on OJ's wheel. We have Dave up in front. I'm not sure if Ben is up there in front of him. No, that's Rick. So Rick is up front. You got Dave second wheel. You got OJ third wheel. I'm fourth wheel. You look at my rear camera. You got Perry right there, and you see Misael. He's kind of got a little gap behind Perry. And Misael told me that he's tired, and I've encouraged him, you got to take rest days. Either they're active or, you know, total rest days. So right now we got Rick right there to my right, and you got Dave up front pulling, and you see OJ pops out to the left just a little bit. And again, like I mentioned to you guys earlier in the video, OJ was like, hey, Whit, you want me to lead you out? So at this point, I'm like, hey, let's get it. I'm right here on your wheel. Let's get it. So right now, OJ is signaling to Perry. As you see, he's coming up from my rear view camera. He's coming up to the front to pull. And OJ pats his rear end, letting me know to jump on. So I'm on that wheel. So I'm like, all right, let's go. So you see there, you got Ben, you got Misael on the rear camera. My heart rate's at 171, which is still, it's decent. It's not 160, but it's decent. You got Dave back there, 24 miles an hour. So Perry's pulling right here, and we're coming up on the sprint, the area of the sprint. It's actually a segment in Strava and everything. So we're coming up on that section right now, and we have about 1 minute left. So Perry just pulls off, and now OJ's leading me out. Of course, he's going to look a few times and make sure I'm still there. And he's looking. He's riding, he's hitting hard. There he goes. He looked again, and we're getting. Of course, we got the grand old speed bumps. So we're happy about that. There's a speed bump. Not really. So we're getting it. And what's going to happen here soon is my Garmin is going to go, you know, those of you that have Garmins, they chirp and let you know that you're in certain segments, or in, you know, or whether you hit a pinnacle point. So now you see OJ out the saddle. We're in that area. He's sprinting. I let the sprinter's gap happen, and I come over the top of him, and I sprint, and Ben was on my wheel, and I just passed the finish line, taking third place. The lineup was LT, Chris, myself. Thank you guys for watching. Please comment, like, subscribe. On to the next with your boy, CW, a.k.a. Crit Whit. Peace.